Beers and bets. Beers and bets. Beers and bets. Beers and bets.
All right.
Welcome back, boys.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here to make our week 4 picks.
We're here.
We've seen 3 weeks of NFL football. Before we get into the picks for this week, let's go over the first 3 weeks of football. A little early recap.
I like it.
Jimmy, let's throw it to you first. Who has impressed you most in the first 3 weeks from you watching football? Could be a team, could be a player. What have you been most impressed by?
I go ahead and turn down my TV here. I was watching the NFL there, just can't get enough of it lately.
That insider info.
Yeah, well, you bring up a question like that, and I think around the league, hands down, we got to go Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. I mean, coming out, new leader, clearly came in with a plan in place. Vance Joseph was a great hire. I mean, obviously, what we needed to do was bring back some of the shit we've seen the last 4 years. So, I feel strong about that. I'm so fired up about it. It's been one of the better hires and something in the league that's really we haven't seen in quite a while. So, I mean, I think he's brought in a new edge, a new attitude on defense. We don't they might run the ball a little bit, couple of touchdowns here or there, but Mostert is 5. A great running back. Well, whatever, we're not counting.
Dude.
But I think, if you want to talk about making a name for yourself and coming in and changing up and pressing, a big Broncos fan, and a guy that likes, Bears and stuff, I'm so fired up right now. And I didn't want to we kind of got off the hook because all of our teams lost. And we didn't get to talk about it on Sunday. 70s, it's a little higher than you like to see, but I thought we put up a fight, man. I like the leadership, and again,
kept it close in the first half. Lost 70 to 20.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you lost an OT or if you lost 70.
To answer the question, I got to go Sean Payton. I think he's made a huge difference in the league.
Okay.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite play? Do you have a favorite play you remember from that game Sunday against the Dolphins?
There was a really cool one, and we contained Mostert so much to the point that he was about to go out of bounds, and it wasn't on our defense.
I know the play.
We only missed 4 tackles. He almost went out, and we scared him so much. And I love also that Sean Payton clearly has listened to the refs with hitting after the whistle and stuff for what happened to him in the NFC Championship game against the refs. So now he's got our defense to the point where we just don't hit at all. And it's smarter because if they run out of bounds, they're out of bounds, and you don't take a flag for it, and then losing the NFC Championship.
But when they keep running, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Well, it can be an issue, but no, whatever, man. Fucking.
It's all downhill from here, right?
The chase for Caleb starts this week. Broncos, Bears.
It's already started. Started the minute that we signed.
This is a big one here.
If you're the Broncos, though, and the season does continue to just go dreadfully, it's not just Caleb. You got the guy Penix at Washington University, who looks just as impressive as Caleb.
No,
you got Drake May at North Carolina. Brad, there's 3 really solid quarterbacks. And then the guy up at Washington State, Ward, looks like he could be an NFL guy. So you don't necessarily need to be the worst in football, Jimmy. But if you get a top 5 pick, get a new quarterback.
We'll be the worst.
We'll talk a year from now.
We'll get there. Jimmy's we got it covered. I've seen enough.
Yeah, we're good.
Hey, at least you got a first rounder.
The Dolphins without Waddle. They would have put up 100. They could have put up the record if they didn't want to be nice, and their coach wanted to fucking go for it. But Mostert or whatever had to come up to him and tell him, "Hey, let's lay off a little bit."
Chill out, coach. Chill out.
Big fan. They did that without Waddle.
All right, we'll spare Jimmy anymore.
I'm proud. Yeah, I'm proud.
Brad.
I'd rather be my squad than yours. That's going to get there close and still fuck up no matter what. Because Baker looked. Baker on.
If we make
Monday
the playoffs,
night.
I'll be happy. I think Baker was the spotlight got to Baker. I don't want to make this a Bucs segment, but Brad, let's kick it to you. Who are you most impressed by?
Not on our terms.
I think the big dogs in the NFC, Eagles and Niners, they're a clear cut above everybody else, and Niners aren't fully healthy. Eagles aren't really clicking yet, and they still they're finding a way to win every week.
The Niners have impressed me more. The Niners have impressed me more. Philly hasn't looked great to me, even in that Bucs game. The Bucs just couldn't get anything going on offense.
Philly's D-line still impresses the shit out of me. They've had some lapses in the secondary at times, but when they have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, those four out there, there's not an O-line that can handle those four dudes.
Yeah.
I think it's impressive, but the other I was going to touch on player just because he's not getting any hype on Defensive Player of the Year, but Daniil Hunter with the Vikings.
What does he got?
5 sacks, 7 TFLs, and a forced fumble. So that's second in the league. Minnesota is constantly playing from behind, so teams are running the ball mostly at him. It's not like he's pinning his ears back, getting 40 chances a game. He's on one of the worst teams in the league right now in terms of game script for sacks. And he's, what is he, 28? He's on a 1-year deal. I want somebody to trade for him.
I was
to get him, honestly.
I was unaware of that, and I believe Baker in Minnesota week 1 was sacked 0 times, so he must have had a 2-sack game and a 3-sack game. He's got 5 in his last 2 games. So, okay. And that 7 tackles for loss is impressive for a edge guy too. So I like that. That's good insight.
He's on plus really 10,000 right now to win Defensive Player of the Year. Just
good odds.
$10, $5-10. I could win you.
You're surprised by the Eagles and what they've done, though?
No, I'm surprised by Daniil Hunter. I'm surprised.
No, I'm saying
Daniil Hunter.
Brad had brought up the Eagles and somebody else as like the initial ones like that. He was like,
Eagles and Niners, just the fact that they're juggernauts is what he was kind of saying. That's kind of
what we expected, right? Coming into the year, like they were going to
look at the rest of the league. Everybody's kind of fluctuated. We had a lot of questions about Brock Purdy. You talk about the Eagles Super Bowl hangover. I'm not saying I'm not surprised. It's just the big dogs asserted themselves. And they're like, we're still the 2 best teams, and it's not close. Right.
The one thing I'd say where that's Purdy's a bit surprising, I think going into the season, I thought the best teams in football were in the AFC, and the Niners and Eagles have had me kind of question that. And maybe the two best teams in football right now are in the NFC. So that part of it's a bit surprising to me.
I don't know. And Chiefs.
We all would agree, though, AFC was before the season. We all were touting the AFC. Right. It was hard to even pick who was going in the playoffs. And now I do agree. You see holes in Kansas City, Cincinnati, clearly in Baltimore. Who else even has a decent record?
Denver again.
The Bills are actually looking better with their run game.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. James Cook has been a pleasant surprise. I like him. Let me get to my pick here, guys. What's impressed me most, and this is a guy, he's off most people's radar, but NFC Special Teams Player of the Month, Buccaneers punter Jake Camarda.
You got to be kidding.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The punter?
We still had to hear stats about the Bucs punter.
All right. No stats. Right, but my real pick for this is CJ Stroud, the Texans rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
He's played 3 games. He's averaging for throwing over 300 yards a game. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's just looked really smart and solid. And it's not like he has a ton around him. He's on the Texans. So this guy looks good so far. He gets my vote for kind of.
Who have they played? Who have they played? Do you have that there?
I don't in front of me. They just beat the Jags convincingly.
Week 1 was the Colts, right? I think
so. We got Jags, Colts.
Was it though? I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, that's right. They definitely played the Jags and Colts. I don't know what that third game was.
At Jacksonville, then they were at home versus Indy, and then Baltimore. Yeah. No.
Yeah, they started with Baltimore, and that was a kind of close game, right, Brad? So you got to like what you see from the guy.
I mean, yeah. He's been impressive because Tunsil's one of the best left tackles in the league. He's been out. Like their whole line is like second and third string guys. So that's kind of what to me makes it more impressive. And he's doing it with Nico Hollins and Tank Dell and Robert Woods.
Yeah, 3 receivers. There's not a true number 1. Tank Dell's made some highlight plays, but we don't know about him. Nico Collins, like He's a big receiver. I don't know that he's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's get to week 4. Jimmy, we're looking forward at this point. We don't got to worry about the 70 points last week.
Just flush it.
There's a lot of teams in the NFL that haven't allowed 70 points total in 3 games.
Cool. Any other good news?
All right.
Flush it. All right.
Flush it down the toilet. Move forward.
Well, you want to talk?
You don't want to talk about the Red Sox either, right now, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Any other good news? Yeah. It's like in Happy Gilmore. My parents died when I was 6. Would you like to talk about that too? Or it's a wedding singer. He's like, why would anybody want to talk about that? I don't know. Like, exactly. Like, fuck off. Next, what else you got?
Yeah. Let's start with the marquee matchup on Sunday. Dolphins at Bills. Bills are holding as 2.5-point favorites. A high over-under at 53.5. Jimmy, what do you got? Dolphins, Bills. Who are you taking? Game's up in Buffalo. It's going to be cold in September. It's going to be cold up there in September. Over 53.5?
Yeah.
I lost my fucking pen.
Documentary on our boy, the mad scientist that can run faster than Bill Belichick off the field. Whatever his name is.
He sprints off the field. He's ready to get out of there.
Yeah.
He looks back at the camera as he takes off. Like, good luck.
McMuffin. Yeah.
McMuffin with his gold frames.
Yeah, dude. He got all fucking bitter and butthurt, started drinking because all the other guys were getting the money, McVay, and like there's a whole thing on YouTube.
He started drinking?
Dude, it's like he has a thing for like 845, and it's how many days he was out of the NFL when he got fired from whatever organization it was, and then got rehired by the Miami Dolphins. And it's like 845. He has it like on thumbnail text in his office. Funny. And it's like he started getting all fucked up all the time because he's like, I was around guys like who's the Niners guy, like him, and when he was in Washington with him, McVay.
O'Connell, all guys that have had coaching jobs now.
And he was like, and I tried to be like them. And he's like, and I would just go out, I get fucked up because I couldn't figure out why I wasn't. And then he like had to go to rehab and shit. And it was like this whole.
Is this true?
I swear to God, I watched it last night, dude. I was shocked because it's like 845. Why the number 845 means so much to McDaniel or whatever his name is. And I was like, that's kind of what's that about? And I watched it, and it's him talking about like him drinking too. Dude, it was really interesting. I was like, holy shit, kind of made you root for the guy. And then I watched the highlights of the Broncos game, and I was like, nah, he can go for himself. But
I did not know that.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Over 53.5 for Jimmy. I'm going to piggyback off you a little bit. I'm going to do a parlay. Dolphins money line, game total, over 53.5. I want a parlay on this one. I like what I've seen from the Dolphins too much. I'm going to ride them.
I bet you're going to ride them.
Just like Matt, to ride a Dolphin.
Brad's going to go the opposite way on this. He's going to say it's a divisional game, home team. Josh Allen's learned how to not throw picks.
I'm never going to say that. Okay. Come on now. Come on. I was going to let you talk up until that point. Shit. No, I do think 2.5 is kind of tough in Buffalo. I'm going to take the under. They both have been lighting it up. Miami was too perfect. Denver quit by about 20 minutes into that game. Yeah, maybe halftime. It's just Buffalo's defense has been amazing this year. And I just think Miami, we'll see. They haven't really been tested yet. And maybe I'll be proven wrong again, but I don't know. Buffalo seemed like they did exactly like everything went perfect last week for both teams. But Buffalo did it with defense, little special teams. I mean, Josh Allen didn't have a great game. They ran the ball a lot. So it's just, I think him seeing he doesn't have to be Tim Tebow at Florida, it's, I don't know. I think they control it.
I'm excited to see this one. I wish it wasn't on at the same time as Bucs.
Should be the night game.
It should have at least been moved to 3. Yeah. It should have more flexibility.
Yeah, you're right.
They should let us make the schedule.
You know why they don't? I mean, because obviously then you're losing that.
No, then the Bucs are on every fucking
to the Sunday night game. You know, because the Bills would be playing it. Middle of the day. Yeah.
But what's the difference between playing at noon and 3 o'clock? That doesn't fuck with your travel schedule at all.
That would be fine.
Move them to 3 o'clock.
I was talking to Goodell.
Start flexing shit. Come on now.
Jimmy, you sounded like you had a point, and then now you're just flexing. Flex games. Start flexing games.
Oh, my flex. I thought you heard. I thought
you were about to take your shirt off.
I was thinking about it.
I thought we were gonna flash the ads. Yeah. All jacked up.
All right, let's move on to another game. All right, second one, Brad. Brad, your Ravens got to go to Cleveland to play a tough Browns defense. At least they've looked the part this far. Low over under 40.5 points. Browns are favored by 2.5 was the latest I saw. That line's been bouncing around from like 2 to 2.5 to 3. So, Brad, your team, you take it away. You got first dibs.
I'll keep it. Both running backs are healthy. I'm taking Baltimore, the plus whatever it's going to be. Both running backs are back. Free safety's back. Marlon Humphrey's back. They signed Van Noy. Kareem Hunt's hurt, so they only have Jerome Ford. He had that one good game when Chubb got hurt. In the other 2 games, he's had 25 carries for under 50 yards. He's not good.
We'll see.
And Roquan said to the media today, we're going over there to beat their tails in front of their wife and kids.
That's a good quote. I like the quote.
Feeling it.
So you mentioned the Browns injury. You failed to mention no Odell, no Bateman. So Lamar's left with Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, and I can't name the third target.
It would be Nelson Aguilar.
Is Tylan Wallace healthy?
It would be Nelson Aguilar. And Duvernay.
I'm not super excited about that, but Lamar has succeeded with, poor options as targets before. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm going to keep it simple and go under 40.5. The injuries on both offenses. I just see this being a struggle fest. Maybe this game ends like 13-10. I would not be surprised if neither team gets to the 20-point mark. So it's a low over under at 40.5. I'm gonna ride with it.
Very.
AFC North football. Let's ride.
Gotta love it.
Jimmy,
that's
your pick for this one?
Under. I think it's like 20 to 19, 19 to 15. Something weird.
So you're with me on the under.
Boring. I feel like the weather is just going to be bad. I don't know why, but it'll just be like nasty and weird. And
I haven't checked the forecast, but I would.
It's going to be boring.
It would excite me.
Odell and Rashad are both questionable as well.
They're questionable.
Yeah.
And you said
both at a limited practice today.
And you said both Ravens running backs are healthy. Gus and Justice Hill are healthy. They're going to be back. Okay. Yep. I don't know that makes a huge difference. They could start anybody at running back, and I don't know that it gets.
I think it showed late, though, when you have Melvin Gordon and Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake's already fumbled in the game. We know how Melvin Gordon fumbles. That's not the duo you want out there. When you're trying to win a game in OT,
To be fair to Melvin Gordon, he only likes to fumble the ball like inside the 5. He picks his spots. So you could say that
Kenyon
about
Drake
him.
was about the 15, so inside the 20, their thing.
Yeah, I remember, Jimmy, I'm sure you remember Melvin Gordon with the Broncos last year. You get to the goal line and they take out Javonte Williams, put Melvin Gordon in, and he comes in and fumbles the ball at the 1. And he did it 2 or 3 times. I'm not talking about one game.
I'm pretty sure he won a ring with the Chiefs last year, too. Like he was on their
practice.
He contributed.
Squad. Yep.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. All right.
Fucking inside guy.
We've hit on the Broncos. Go ahead, Jim.
Fuck them. You guys watch, dude. And if we got to hear, are we going to have to get into it on here? Or we're not covering it. That cunt. Because I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to waste our airtime talking about Taylor Swift. I really don't. It's not. It just isn't.
You already
football
did. You already did. Move on.
Let's move on.
Travis Kelce.
Wait till she writes a song about him, and we'll recite the lyrics.
Won't be about a ring. I can tell you that fucking much.
So we talked Broncos, we talked Ravens. Let's hit my Bucs. We got a big divisional matchup for first place in the NFC South. Buccaneers are going to New Orleans to face Jameis Crab Legs Winston and the Saints.
Crab legs. Hey.
Saints are 3.5-point favorites. Yeah, what do you got, Jim? Come on.
Well, I want to give you a shout out to your boy Reams. Side note from what this is, the crab legs reminds me of your boy, and you guys get together with him. He's a computer guy, right? Designer.
He does computer coding, sure.
Have him come up with a new football game. I watched another video on how bad the new Madden is today, and I was thinking, man, if you could get him and you,
I don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if he's the guy.
Good. All right. But anyway, you want me to give you the pick for that one?
Yeah, pick Bucs Saints.
What's the line on it?
Plus 3.5 for the Bucs. Saints are 3.5-point favorites at home.
Saints money line.
Okay.
No, Bucs money line.
Bucs money line. I like it. I like it.
Bucs money. Yeah. Well, his car's out, right?
Car's almost certainly out from the looks.
Crab legs is playing.
Crab legs looks to be scrambling around out there.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I can trust him, and I think Baker can do enough to win that game. Although that game's going to be a good one to watch. I think I don't like those teams at all either way, but I think it'll be
This one stays low scoring too. This over-under is at 40, and both these defenses are top 10 in points right now after 3 games. I think this stays low scoring as well.
19-13 or some shit like that, maybe.
And that's another reason in a low scoring game. Let me just take the Bucs getting the 3.5 points. Bucs plus 3.5. If this game stays under 20 and ends, say, 20-17, you take the Bucs and the points, you win that bet. So I like that. I'm excited to see Jameis too. And the other thing that can't be without mentioning is Mike Evans going against Marshawn Lattimore, because they will 100% get into it at some point. One or both of them has a great chance of getting kicked out of the game. So that's another reason to watch.
Now because of that. I forgot. He's going to get thrown out. It's not going to be Lattimore. It's definitely going to be Evans, like it always is.
Mike Evans usually gets shut down.
He's so dumb.
Evans usually gets shut down, and then Evans says, "Fuck this! I'm beating your ass," or "I'm giving you a cheap shot." Yeah, that's how it usually goes. I'll be honest about it as a Bucs fan. I've seen it happen several times.
I like Mike Evans until I realized.
Yeah, this guy's got his number over the years. Yeah. Mike Evans did get him for a touchdown in the playoffs in our Super Bowl year, which was nice. Yep. But that's about it. Brad,
it's been a good rivalry.
What side are you on here, Brad?
I was shocked to see. I'm taking the under. Jameis looked like a changed man last week.
He always sounds like a changed man.
Just check down Charlie last week. He was boring.
Sounds like a fucking moron, dude.
He's so dumb. Every Saints game over years.
I'm gonna eat this dumb.
Is he still trying to do that, Matt? Is he still trying to pull out?
We got to see what he's got for the pregame speech on. I doubt the Saints let him do the pregame speech.
No.
Did you ever see
Kamara's coming back this week? Like, nah.
Did you ever see Deshaun Jackson's face after when he was doing that?
Oh, dude, I've watched it so many times. God damn, this dude is fucking. Is this dude on drugs?
Yeah. What the fuck is he on? Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
They lost that game, surprisingly.
Oh, no kidding. I think I remember Scott Hansen actually talking about that one and being like, and Jameis Winston, he likes to get his guys fired up. Look at him before this divisional matchup against the Saints. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on, man? Yeah, I don't know. That dude's a mess.
Brad, you mentioned Kamara's back. That's big news. We'll see how quickly they bring him back. Does he get 15 touches? Are they going to give him his full 20 to 25?
I think it is big that it wasn't an injury, that it was a suspension for beating the shit out of a guy, basically.
Right. But still, without being up to speed, you don't know.
I agree. I agree.
It sucks for Carr. It's like you finally get like all your weapons around you, and then I didn't realize that guy was so fucking like injury prone either. Like, I knew he got hurt.
He usually gets hurt, but he plays through it. Is actually Carr's MO.
Yeah. But now that I look at it, that one game he left the field real young, and he was like crying coming off the field with his leg. I think he broke his leg or something, right? When he was really young, there was an injury. He got carted off. Anyway,
I don't remember.
Didn't notice that injury prone.
One more thing before we move on. Bucs starting 2 corners are banged up. Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis. Both are hurt. So if
Both
you have
D tackles are
Chris
banged up.
Olave in fantasy, Chris Olave would be a good start this week in fantasy football.
As opposed to
say.
every other.
Well, you're probably starting him every week, right? Maybe you say Michael Thomas. Maybe you say Michael Thomas can go off.
You guys watched him he's the clear number one of that offense. It's like 12 targets a game.
Olave
You're not sitting
Olave. Without Derek Carr, who knows, man?
Well, he could go completely off this week, is what I'm saying. Let's move on from the Bucs. We've spent too long on them. No, we're still keeping that total at the under, Jimmy. We're still keeping it under 40. Patriots, Cowboys. The only decent 3:00 game, Patriots at Cowboys. Cowboys 6.5-point favorites. That seems way too high to me. I'm going Pats plus 6.5. The Cowboys just lost to the Cardinals. I don't see why they're getting another 6.5 points against the Pats. I really don't. Anybody got an answer?
I think the Cardinals are scrappy.
I got the hiccups. I need to talk to Seahawks. It's in Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
Ooh.
Yeah. Pats. Cover that line. Easy.
6.5. Yeah, I think it could. That's such a tough one, man. I'm gonna go Cowboys though. I think they can blow they'll get maybe a touchdown on defense, or they'll be able to cover that. I'll just go money line Cowboys. And what's the over under?
43.5.
43.
I'll go Cowboys in the over just to make that like not an annoying pick, because the money line would be lame with it being a 6-point game. But I'll go, yeah. Yeah, I think what the Cowboys are doing is good. They play down to they do it every year. And this is such a game that they're gonna lose. Even though I'm saying I'm taking like them to win it, but they always find a way every fucking year to do this, and they'll lose this game. You know what I mean? And I think they need to just put that script, or I don't know, or that dude he's been a waste of a hire like we thought the minute that he got hired there, because I never thought he was going to be a guy that would bring a Super Bowl to Dallas. And I don't know if you guys feel different.
I don't believe it either. I don't believe in McCarthy like that. I think he's too old school and he hasn't adapted.
His play calling is terrible.
Yeah.
Thing is, Parsons is such a good player that even with Diggs out or whatever, like their defense is good. And I think they're better than what the Patriots just have nothing on offense. Like they might get a defensive touchdown because the Cowboys are dumb, and there's probably going to be, well, who knows? Both those fan bases to me aren't loyal, even though I guess the Patriots are. I don't really feel. They feel more like when I watch a Patriots home game. Do you guys get the feeling of home field? I know it's not in New England, but it's like they don't. And it's kind of like the Cowboys. Like they have loyal fans, but they're not all rowdy and loud. They're like.
Well, it's tough. I feel like the last couple of years they've just lost their big home games, right, so it's tough for the fans to get up for it when they're losing those games.
And maybe that's it too, yeah. But I don't look at a game in Dallas and be like, "Oh man, like that's going to be that home field advantage will play a role." Like if that game was in New England, we'd be talking right now like, "Shit, that could be like playing in New England. That'll be a little tougher." And I don't consider the fans that are good. I just consider Bill. The headsets and all that shit, there'll be some on field, you know what I mean? Like home field advantage.
Yeah.
Shit. Whereas playing in Dallas, it's almost like a neutral site to me. I don't really see that.
I'd love to see the Patriots go down there and win this game and put the Cowboys on notice. Yeah. I really would. Did you talk about, the Patriots don't have any weapons, but Dallas doesn't have a ton of weapons either. I mean, they got Tony Pollard and they got CeeDee Lamb. And once you get past those two people to defend, what do you got? You got Michael Gallup and Jake Ferguson.
Dowell or whatever.
I think the game plan's kind of easy for Belichick to shut two people out, or at least take one of those two out of the game, and then just keep them in check. You know, that's kind of how I see this one.
I don't know if they're better though, like in their defense. I think
you got to hammer New England and the under in this. When you look at who New England's played, I mean, their two losses, they all lost one-score games to Philly and Miami. And then they beat the Jets in a low-scoring field goal fest. Like the Cowboys cannot do anything in the air.
They played the Jets without fucking Aaron Rodgers. Right? That was that game.
Well, both teams have played the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. Both teams have got to win off the Jets without Rodgers. But the Cowboys have lost to the Cardinals and they beat the Giants. That was their big coming out party. I think they peaked. I think Bill will destroy Dak because Mike McCarthy is a dum-dum.
That's fair. I mean,
so you like the Pats as well?
Pats in the under.
Pats money line or Pats points?
Points.
Orders, and you got to keep eye on the clock here because I don't think on the phone it's going to tell.
We got about 6 minutes left, and we got two things left. We're going to pick our locks of the week, and I'll get mine out of the way real quick. Homer lock of the week for me. I'm going Chargers beat the Raiders. Chargers money line. It's a safe pick. If you're in a survivor pool, Chargers is a safe pick. Get him out of the way. Jimmy G concussion. He might not play. Raiders aren't going to beat Justin Herbert with a backup quarterback. You'd be hard pressed to tell me otherwise. All right. Brad, lock of the week. What do you got?
Give me an over, actually. Cincy at Tennessee. Over
Brad's
41.
taking an over.
Taking an over. Cincy's been terrible running the ball. I think it's Henry's get-right game. And if Burrow plays, they'll put up a few points. So, 41 seems way too low. I think they're banking on Joey Burrow not playing.
Quick side note, just because you mentioned Derrick Henry having a kind of upstart game. I had a coworker just trade away Derrick Henry for Aaron Jones in a PPR fantasy league. What's your thoughts on that, Brad? Is that risky? Is that decent?
What am I?
I think it's early.
Early to sell on Henry?
Yeah. They actually got him involved in the passing game in that first week. So
what's the trade?
Derrick Henry for Aaron Jones. Coworker gave away Henry for Aaron Jones.
Yeah, you might want to fire that guy.
When you think of the draft capital, they invested for Henry compared to Jones. It's what, like a first rounder for a third?
No, probably a second rounder for a third, really, with where those people would go in PPR.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right.
Faradjan fired that guy because he made that trade in fantasy.
He's about to.
I write him up tomorrow for a bad fantasy trade.
Yep.
All right.
We're questioning your intelligence.
Didn't want to have that conversation on a Thursday.
All right, Jimmy, lock of the week. What do you got?
Go Pack, go. Tonight, they're going to beat the Lions.
Packers on Thursday night.
Yeah,
all right.
They're going to win at home. Dan Campbell and those guys, Montgomery's a little banged up. I think the Packers defense is a little bit better than, I don't know. I think, so I'll go them tonight. And it'll just be a fun one because this game's going to be on here in a minute. So,
all right.
30 minutes. But.
Let's get this real quick and get out of here. And this is one of our favorites.
Let's get it.
First red zone touchdown. Jimmy, first red zone touchdown. Who did you write down last minute before we hit record?
Jalen Hurts, right up the gut, baby.
On the push play?
Let's go.
Jalen Hurts. All right.
Annoy the whole
It has to be a rushing touchdown if it's Jalen Hurts. It has to.
If not, it'll be a bound to AJ. But
Okay. All right. Jimmy's got Jalen. I got another Jalen. I got Jalen Waddle as my first red zone touchdown. He's recovering from a concussion. He's kind of expected to play. Yeah. I want to see the Penguin dance at about 12:05. He gets a deep one.
That's going to be the thumbnail.
So I got Waddle, and then we always pick a defense too. I'm taking the Bucs defense because we're going against Jameis. Maybe Jameis gets the ball first, throws us a quick pick six. Eagles defense for Jimmy. All right, Brad, you get your first red zone touchdown picks, and we'll get out of here.
Justin Jefferson. He's been killing it, but only one touchdown. I think Cousins has got like 9 touchdowns, but only one to him.
Jay Jetta, and they play somebody fairly easy, don't they? They play the Panthers, right?
Yep. Okay. And I don't know if Horn's healthy or not. So.
And then what did you say at defense?
I'll go Baltimore.
Okay. Because we always take a defense because sometimes there's some shiesty shit going on right after.
That's a shot in the dark. Baltimore. Wow.
I took the Bucs. He took Baltimore.
They're ranked 32nd in special teams right now. I was shocked to see that.
So creative, you fucking losers.
Jimmy, unlike your team,
I didn't have a defense written down.
Hey, so our teams have top 10 defenses, Jimmy. You don't know how it feels.
You're not
You
going
just
to
don't
win
know
a
how it
playoff
feels.
game this year. You'll win as many
We
playoff
might.
games as we do.
We
I'll
might.
bet you $1.
We could be good for one playoff game, the Bucs, and I think that's their
I'll bet you
absolute
$20.
ceiling. We already got a bet this season.
You
It's that
say
the Bucs
$20?
will win more
I
games
know
than the
that.
Broncos.
I know that. And we already
You're 2
double
games
or
back.
nothing.
You're 2.5 games back.
I think we can. I don't think I can win that bet at this point, man. Just given who we
Yeah.
have to play. Still got the Chiefs twice, man. We're fucked. Whatever. Fuck you
All
guys.
right.
I hate this podcast.
All right, let's go
You
watch
guys
some
are
football.
dickheads.
Fuck
Yeah, are you ready
Go.
for the football?
All right, Thursday night. I'm on Detroit tonight. I like Campbell too much. Quick picks on that game. I know by the time people listen, this game will be over. Jimmy's got Packers. I got Lions. Brad.
Under. Hammer
Brad's
the
got
under
the
on
under.
Thursdays.
I don't even know what the under is.
on Thursdays. 45.
All right. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.